Some weeks ago, I traveled to Pondicherry, and if you haven't seen the vlog, it's here somewhere. Please check it out. I'm going to be frank with you, this is the first time I travel solo. This might be a shocker for a lot of you who are especially from outside India, who travel solo on a consistent basis. But for Indian people, it's not such a big deal because women in India especially hardly travel, forget about traveling solo. If you look at my mom's generation, she hasn't traveled alone ever, like not even for the essential things like visiting her family or anything like that. So she's never really traveled solo. It took me so long to finally convince my parents to let me travel alone. You can't really blame your parents because in India everybody is paranoid about safety. So if you are somebody like me who's traveling alone for the first time, who's deciding to travel solo, I'm going to share with you some tips which are practical as well as spiritual because all my videos come from that space. And these 3 tips are going to shift the way you think about travel and hopefully make the whole experience slight bit easy for you too. Before I get into the tips, I want to talk about certain mental blocks that might be preventing you from traveling solo, that might have kept you from traveling at all in the first place. And let me tell you, traveling solo is so important, especially if you are somebody who is in a phase of life where you're looking for personal growth, if you're looking for expanding your consciousness, for so many other things. I mean, it's an absolutely personal, intimate experience that has to be for you and nobody else. If you want to travel and you've been giving yourself certain excuses, like I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have permissions, then probably now is the time to stop. I'm calling them excuses because honestly, anything in life that is not flowing into our life is only because somewhere deep down we are holding ourselves back, and it's not because of the circumstances outside. When you shift your perspective, when you take control, everything else outside shifts as well. If you've honestly decided to travel, there's literally nothing in the world which is going to stop you from doing that. So get over that mental block, get over those excuses. Some of you might frown if I say that money is an excuse for not traveling, but honestly it is. Traveling nowadays is so much more cheap. Any place that you really decide to visit, you can totally plan for it, go for it, because there are so many apps and offers and so many ways you can actually travel cheap and in budget. I'm not really the right person, but on YouTube there are so many videos about how to travel cheap and how to travel without literally having any money. So I guess the only thing that you need for traveling is the resolution to travel. Everything else will just fall into place. Another thing is, decide to travel for yourself and nobody else. Don't travel for reasons that don't feel true to your nature. Don't travel because you want to go to that place your friends have visited, because it's a status quo for you. You probably want to go there and take pictures and post it on Instagram to be famous. All these are not reasons to travel. Traveling, like I said, can be a very consciousness expanding, can be a very spiritual experience. So before you decide to travel in group, try to travel solo, especially to a place where you really want to go. I advise you to absolutely travel solo, because from the start of the journey till the finish, not even the destination, this entire process is going to give you so much time to reflect, so much time to devote to yourself, so much time to just be present with things around you and enjoy the entire journey. Not just enjoy taking pictures after going there or making new friends if that's your purpose for traveling, but it can be such a good space for self-reflection and self-growth. Now that we have all these mental blocks out of the way, let's get into the tips. Tip number 1. Create a safety net. If you're somebody like me who stays with their parents and you inform your parents about everything that you do, and they're going to be very fearful if you are going to travel solo, you need to make sure that you find a way to put yourself at ease with regards to safety and put them at ease. You can do this by probably going to a place where you already know that you have a friend or somebody that you can trust. So get that person's contact and pass it on to your parents. Make sure that when you stop somewhere, you inform your parents. Just give them that small, quick call, and they are going to be easy and they're going to get off your back so you can completely have fun. When I went to Pondicherry, I already had my best friend there. I didn't have to worry about accommodation. My parents were much more relaxed because they knew that she is there. Even if I traveled around Pondicherry alone, they would know that at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, she's there. So they were much more relaxed and I was much more relaxed. Second thing, this is so important, so cliched, but I think it's the most important thing. Travel light. I'm not kidding. It can change your entire traveling experience. You literally have to travel out of a backpack. In my case, I was only traveling for the weekend, so I had no reasons to pack a suitcase full of clothes. I just packed myself 2 pair of clothes, one that I was wearing and the other one that I was going to change into. I just had my basic moisturizer and my face wash, which I always use. Apart from that, I did not carry anything extra. I carried a hand sanitizer. I did carry my camera bag because I eventually wanted to take few pictures with my best friend. And then I carried an umbrella because it was going to be hot in Pondicherry, which I expected. I eventually did not use the umbrella at all. Third thing about traveling solo is what I'm going to talk from the perspective of law of attraction. When you head out for a journey, especially if you are from India, you know there's already so much social conditioning that sort of forces you to be worried about traveling alone, that forces you to think about safety all the time, that forces you to expect the worst. But take my advice on it, never ever expect the worst. Never ever worry when you're going to travel solo, because if you travel from that perspective, if you are going to travel from a place of worry, from a place of things going wrong, obviously the universe is going to show you the same things. So when I set out for Pondicherry, I had literally no thought in my mind. There was not a moment of doubt, there was not a moment of fear, there was not a moment of worry. I literally had nothing in my brain except for the feeling that I was looking forward to, and which was sitting at the beach. I was only imagining the salty breeze at the beach and nothing else. There was literally nothing else in my mind. I didn't worry about accommodation, food, living, weather. I just didn't care. I just cared about my final. I just cared about how I was going to feel after I reached there. And because I felt like Pondicherry was such a calling for me, I really had to go to that place. It seemed like everything was just pre-arranged for me. My best friend swapped her schedule with another person on Saturday, so she had the entire day to spend with. She had one extra day to spend with me. We had accommodation. Even though Pondicherry was hot, when I reached there on Saturday, it became cloudy. So I had so much fun moving around, and literally everything just worked out without planning. We hadn't even planned where we were going to go. Just things kept happening one after the other, and I had such a great experience. Because I was not worried about safety, because I was not worried about traveling alone, even the experience that I had traveling in the bus, which I had booked from Bangalore to Pondicherry, was so safe. Like, I had the last berth, the single berth at the side, and besides me was this group, a huge group of friends who were up all night, and they were so chatty and they were so loud, but that gave me such a sense of peace and safety of being surrounded by people who are so much fun and jovial. So even though I didn't really personally thank them in words, I really thank the universe for giving me a safe company. And surprisingly, when I traveled back from Pondicherry in the same bus, I found the same group again, and I was like, wow. I just have one last extra tip if you're traveling alone. Use this time at most for yourself. Don't worry about social media. Don't worry about taking pictures, taking videos, or doing anything extravagant. Switch off that phone and keep it aside. Don't switch it off maybe, but keep it in silent and keep it aside. Don't research a lot about a place that you're going to visit, because then every experience is going to be pre-planned and it's not going to be spontaneous, it's not going to be fun. It's good to leave certain things to the universe, let it take care of your planning, let it unfold things to you, and you enjoy the process. Sometimes things can go wrong, but then eventually that could be just for another great experience, because literally things never go wrong. They are always working out for the best, they are always working out for the better. So keep your mind open and keep off the social media, keep off the phone, keep off everything superficial from your life. Don't worry about how you're looking, just focus on how you're feeling and focus on this entire journey to be for yourself, for your soul to grow, for your mind to expand, and take in things as it is they come. With that, have fun, have faith, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Bye.